All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling Platform Revolution.
Ooh.
It's a book all about how businesses like Airbnb, Uber, even Facebook are really changing the game.
They really are.
And just reading the intro, I mean, it kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at excerpts from the first chapter.
Okay.
And trust me, it's full of stuff you're going to want to know about.
It's a real paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Like, we're so used to businesses,
Right.
owning things, controlling the whole process.
Right.
But platforms kind of flip that whole idea on its head.
Yeah.
It's all about connecting people and resources
Yeah.
in this way that creates value, ideally for everyone involved,
So I'm guessing most of you listening have used Airbnb or Uber at some point.
probably.
Right. Think about how different that experience was
Yeah.
compared to booking a traditional hotel or, hailing a cab on the street.
It's a completely different ballgame.
It's totally different. It's like
Yeah.
a different world.
Platforms like Airbnb, they don't own any hotels.
Yeah.
But they've become this massive force in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
They're connecting travelers
Uh-huh.
with people who have rooms to spare.
Right.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Travelers get cool places to stay,
Often cheaper.
often at a better price.
Yeah.
And the hosts, they get to make extra cash,
Right.
using space they already have.
That they weren't using.
Yeah,
It's genius.
it is.
And it's not just travel, right? I mean, we see it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Uber, Alibaba,
Mm-hmm.
Facebook.
All doing the same basic thing.
Yeah.
Connecting riders with drivers, buyers with sellers,
Right.
people with information. It's everywhere.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
I think what blows my mind is how this model just explodes the traditional idea of growth.
Okay.
Think about a hotel chain.
Okay.
They want to get bigger. They got to build more hotels.
Yeah.
Huge investment, tons of time.
Right.
But Airbnb, they just need someone with a spare room and a Wi-Fi.
Right.
Boom. Scalability on a whole other level.
So it's not just connecting people. They can grow so much faster
Yeah.
with way less investment
And with less upfront cost.
than these traditional businesses.
Totally.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I'm curious about something.
Yeah.
If they don't control the assets,
Right.
how do they ensure quality?
That is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's where the magic of community feedback comes in. They use reviews, they use ratings.
Okay.
Think about it. Are you more likely to book an Airbnb with no reviews or one with like hundreds of glowing reviews?
Oh, I'm definitely not going for the one with no reviews.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're tapping into the collective wisdom of the community
Right.
to kind of keep things in check.
And it's not just opinions. They're gathering data on every single interaction.
Oh, yeah.
So they can constantly tweak algorithms,
Right.
personalize recommendations,
Yeah.
even try to predict trends.
Mm.
I mean, traditional businesses just can't keep up with that.
It's really remarkable.
So we've got the scalability. We've got the built-in quality control.
Yeah,
It's starting to click for me why this is such a game changer.
totally.
But the book goes even deeper
Oh, yeah.
with this idea of the inverted firm.
Yeah, it's my favorite part.
What is that?
Platform Revolution
Mm.
describes it as a complete inversion of how we think about business.
Okay.
Traditional companies,
Mm-hmm.
they're all about controlling their internal stuff, right? Building walls to keep competition out,
Right.
platforms, throw the doors wide open.
Yeah.
They're all about building and nurturing these external networks.
So they're basically flipping the script on how companies operate on like a fundamental level.
Exactly. Take marketing.
Okay.
It used to be all about broadcasting your message as loud as you could.
Right.
Now it's about creating something people want to share,
Okay.
something that goes viral.
Yeah.
It's about social influence.
Not just shouting from the rooftops.
Exactly.
So what about IT operations?
All different.
How do those change in a platform world?
Okay, so traditional IT is all about managing internal systems,
Okay.
keeping the computers running.
Yeah.
In a platform world, it's harnessing external data.
Okay.
It's about leveraging social media.
So it's a totally different focus.
Yeah, and operations. Forget about controlling assets you own.
Okay.
It's about coordinating this massive, distributed network of people and resources.
So it's like herding cats almost.
In a way, yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
So this is changing the landscape of entire industries.
Totally.
I mean, the book even talks about agriculture and healthcare being transformed by this model.
They use John Deere as an example, the
Yeah.
tractor company.
No way.
Yeah, they're using platforms to connect farmers with real-time data on crops, soil, weather.
Wow.
It's like bringing the power of big data to the farm.
That's amazing.
And they talk about online education.
Right.
Platforms like Coursera and ADX.
Yeah, and GE using platforms to manage industrial equipment and energy consumption.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
really drives home the point that this is touching almost every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Okay, so we've laid some groundwork.
Yep.
Platforms are scalable.
Mhm.
They leverage community feedback.
Yep.
They're flipping traditional business models on their head.
Absolutely.
But there's so much more to unpack here.
Oh, we've barely scratched the surface.
I know.
We need to dive into the challenges and opportunities.
Yeah.
Things like the potential for monopolies, the need for constant innovation,
Right.
and the impact on the future of work.
All important stuff.
We can't ignore it.
So if you're listening and thinking, whoa, this is a lot to take in, trust me, we're right there with you.
Yeah, we're learning right alongside you.
Yeah, but stick with us because this stuff is crucial.
It is.
No matter what you do
No matter what industry you're in,
or where you are in your career,
it's important.
it's not just about keeping up with trends.
It's about understanding the forces that are shaping the world around us.
Yeah.
And trust me, this platform revolution is a force you want to be on the right side of.
Okay, let's take a quick pause here,
Okay.
and we'll come back to tackle some of those bigger questions about how to thrive in this exciting and sometimes daunting platform-driven world.
Sounds good.
Okay, we're back. And I gotta say, my brain is buzzing right now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I have this whole new perspective on all these businesses I interact with every day.
It really changes the way you look at things.
But I have to wonder,
Yeah.
are there any downsides to this whole platform revolution?
Oh, that's a good question.
It can't all be good.
Right? No system is perfect.
Yeah.
And platforms definitely come with their own set of challenges.
Like what?
One of the big ones is the potential for monopolies,
Mm,
as a platform gets bigger.
yeah.
And it becomes kind of the dominant force in its space.
Right.
It can really start to squeeze out the competition.
Yeah.
It can be tough for new players to even enter the game.
So once a platform reaches a certain size,
Yeah.
it feels like they kind of get to call the shots.
Right.
Both for the producers and the consumers.
Yeah, for everybody on their platform.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that leads to some tricky questions, right?
Oh, for sure.
About things like fairness and pricing,
Mm-hmm.
even
Yeah.
censorship.
Absolutely.
Take Facebook, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
They've been under fire for how they handle user data, the spread of misinformation,
Right.
their influence on traditional media.
It's a lot of power in one place.
It feels like a double-edged sword.
Totally.
On the one hand, you have these amazing opportunities,
Yeah,
but then you also need these checks and balances
definitely.
to make sure that that power isn't being abused.
You need some oversight for sure.
And on top of all that,
Yeah.
platforms have to constantly be evolving,
Right.
innovating.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they risk becoming yesterday's news.
The tech world moves fast.
Yeah.
If you can't keep up,
Right.
you'll be left behind.
Like MySpace.
Oh,
I spent so much time on MySpace.
customizing that page.
Hours and hours.
Yeah, they're a perfect example of what happens when a platform fails to adapt.
They just couldn't keep up.
No.
It's funny you mentioned competition.
Yeah.
There's this concept in the book called platform envelopment.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting one.
What does that even mean?
So imagine you have a platform.
Okay.
It's really good at one specific thing,
Okay.
and then a bigger platform comes along
Yeah.
with a much larger user base,
Right.
and they start offering the same service.
Okay.
They basically absorb the smaller platform's functionality.
So it's like when Facebook started letting you share photos.
Exactly.
They basically took over what Flickr was doing.
Cook over a function that was once dominated by other platforms.
It's like the big fish swallows the little fish.
Yeah.
It's a good way to put it.
And it seems like that could be a huge threat for smaller platforms.
It definitely can be.
They just don't have the resources to compete.
Right. It's something that both startups and regulators need to be aware of.
Yeah. Because it could lead to a lot of power in the hands of just a few platforms.
So it sounds like navigating this platform-driven world requires a whole new playbook,
Absolutely.
both for businesses and for individuals.
For everyone.
Yeah.
Platform Revolution argues that to win in this era,
Okay.
you need to shift your whole mindset.
Okay.
It's not enough to just make a great product anymore.
So traditional business strategies just don't cut it.
They might work for a while,
Okay.
but eventually they'll fall short.
Can you think of any traditional companies that have successfully made that jump
That's a good question.
to a platform model?
Well, Nike comes to mind.
Really?
Yeah, they've really transformed themselves
Interesting.
from just a shoe and apparel company
Okay.
into this platform that connects athletes
Okay.
with each other and
Yeah.
with the Nike brand,
Yeah.
their Nike Plus app.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about tracking your workouts anymore.
Right.
It's about community exclusive content,
Okay.
And yeah, ultimately buying more Nike stuff.
Right.
But they've created this whole digital ecosystem
Yeah.
that goes way beyond just selling products.
Just that they're building relationships,
Yeah.
gathering data,
Mm-hmm.
opening up these new revenue streams.
Exactly.
And they're not the only ones.
Even Walmart is getting in on the action.
Walmart.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of them as a platform company.
I know, it's surprising.
Yeah.
But they're making moves.
Like what?
They've launched their own marketplace platform
Okay.
where other sellers can list their products
Interesting.
alongside Walmart's own inventory.
Okay.
And they're investing in things like drone delivery and augmented reality,
Wow.
which could take their platform to a whole new level.
So even the retail giants are realizing
Yeah.
they have to adapt.
Or get left behind.
Right.
The way people shop, find information, connect with each other,
Mm-hmm.
it's all changing.
Yeah.
And platforms are at the center of it all.
This brings up a big question for me.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for the future of work?
That's the big one.
Yeah.
How's this platform revolution going to impact jobs and the skills people need?
Right.
I mean, we could do a whole deep dive just on that.
I probably could.
But in a nutshell,
Yeah.
we're already seeing the impact.
How so?
Freelance work, gig work, it's all on the rise.
Yeah.
Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr,
Yeah.
they connect businesses with individuals who have specialized skills.
And those platforms are just getting more popular,
Oh, yeah.
it seems like.
Both for freelancers and for companies looking to hire.
Right.
And that trend's only going to accelerate
Yeah.
because platforms make it so easy to find people anywhere in the world.
But of course, this raises some concerns too
Of course.
about things like job security,
Right.
benefits,
Mm-hmm.
the potential for exploitation.
Yeah. It's definitely a mixed bag.
It is.
We have all this potential for flexibility, opportunity,
Right.
but we also have these big questions about how to protect workers.
Yeah.
How to ensure fairness
Right.
in this new landscape.
It's like we're in uncharted territory.
In a lot of ways, we are.
It's exciting, but it's also a little scary.
I think that's a good way to put it.
This platform revolution,
Yeah.
it's about so much more than just technology.
Totally.
It's about how we organize ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
how we work,
Right.
how we create value,
Yeah.
how we build a future that works for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And while there are definitely challenges,
Yeah.
there's also this huge potential for positive change.
Absolutely.
The key is understanding how these platforms work and actively shaping their development
Yeah.
in a way that benefits everyone.
That's the goal.
Okay, I'm feeling the weight of all this,
I know it's a lot.
but I'm also energized by the possibilities.
It's exciting stuff.
Let's take another quick pause,
Okay.
and then we'll come back to talk about how we can all navigate this crazy platform-driven world.
Sounds good.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here. We talked about what platforms are, how they work, the challenges they present, the
Yeah.
opportunities they create.
Lots to consider.
But now I want to get practical.
Okay.
How do we actually succeed in a world that's increasingly driven by platforms?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yes, it is.
I wish I had a simple answer for you.
Yeah.
But the reality is it depends.
On what?
Your goals, your skills, your resources.
Okay.
There's no magic formula, unfortunately.
So let's say I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I've got this great idea.
All right.
How do I know if a platform models the right approach?
That's a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah, and if it is, where do I even begin?
Well, first things first, you got to be honest with yourself.
Okay.
Not every business idea is a good fit for a platform structure.
Right.
Some businesses just thrive on having more control over the entire process,
Right.
and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But if you think a platform model makes sense,
Oh.
then you need to start thinking about how to build a thriving ecosystem.
Okay, so what does that actually look like?
It's about the interactions,
Okay.
the connections you want to facilitate.
Right.
Who are your target users?
Yeah?
What value are you creating for them?
Okay.
And how are you going to track those initial users?
Yeah.
Because a platform without users
Right.
is just an empty shell.
It's the chicken and egg problem, right? How do you get those first few people on board?
Sometimes you got to get creative.
Okay.
Offer incentives.
All right.
Maybe focus on a niche community first.
So start small, prove the concept,
Yep.
and then expand.
Exactly.
And word of mouth is huge, right?
Absolutely. Platforms thrive on connections.
The more users you have,
The more valuable it becomes.
it's like that snowball effect.
Exactly.
So you've got that momentum going.
Yeah.
What's the next crucial step?
Trust, reputation is everything for a platform.
Makes sense.
Users need to feel confident that the platform's fair, reliable, secure.
So things like transparent communication, clear policies,
Mm-hmm.
robust security measures,
All of that.
and those user reviews and ratings.
Oh, they're crucial.
Yeah.
They play a huge role in building that trust.
That's a lot for entrepreneurs to think about.
It is.
But what about for the rest of us?
Yeah.
You know, the people using these platforms every day.
The consumers, the workers.
Yeah, what advice do you have for us?
I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
Take a look at the platforms you use every day.
Yeah.
Shopping, transportation, entertainment, connecting with people.
Right?
And ask yourself, how are these platforms changing the way you live your life?
I think a lot of us take them for granted.
It's easy to do.
We don't always stop to think about the impact they're having.
Right. They've become so integrated into our lives.
It's easy to get caught up in the convenience,
Yeah. The novelty.
but we should be mindful of
the-
how they're shaping our world.
Absolutely.
So once we have that awareness,
And what?
how do we use these platforms to our advantage?
You have to be proactive.
Okay.
Platforms are incredible tools.
For what?
Learning new skills, connecting with potential employers,
Yeah.
even starting your own side hustle.
Right.
There are so many resources available online.
Through platforms like Coursera and Skillshare,
Udemy.
the list goes on.
It's amazing how accessible education and training have become.
Really is.
But it's not just about acquiring new skills.
It's about lifelong learning,
Yeah.
constantly adapting,
Right.
because the skills that are in demand today
Yeah?
might be obsolete tomorrow.
The world's changing fast,
It is.
and platforms can help us stay ahead of the curve.
They can.
So don't be afraid to experiment.
Try new things.
Push yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
The key takeaway is
Yeah.
we can't just passively consume these platforms.
You have to engage
Pivot to shape them
and use them to create value.
for ourselves and for others.
Well said.
This platform revolution is still unfolding,
It is.
and its full impact remains to be seen. Who knows what the future holds?
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
It's a force we need to understand
We do.
and engage with.
Because it's shaping the future of everything.
Business, work, society as a whole.
Everything.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
I agree.
I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
I have.
But it's given me so much to think about.
Me too.
So to our listeners out there,
Yeah.
I encourage you, take some time to reflect on the platforms you use in your life.
Yeah, think about it.
How are they changing the way you do things?
Good question.
What opportunities do you see?
What challenges are you facing?
These are questions worth pondering
They are.
as we navigate this crazy platform-driven world.
It's a wild ride,
It is.
but it's an exciting one.
Until next time,
Yeah.
keep diving deep.
Yeah.